Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Angel's Perspective for the month of December. For the people who are joining us for the first time, what is the Angel's Perspective? This is a channel message where the angels and guides share with us the energy of the month, and they also share practical guidance so we can utilize it to navigate these energies a little bit more smoothly. Welcome. My name is Claudia Saarinen, and I am so happy to be here with you today. And let's just start with what is the energy of this month? What do we need to know? How can we navigate this month? So we have a lot of movement, and this is creating many rapid changes. So it's important here to know that we will have the opportunity for so many new things and opportunity for new opportunities, and how we can detect them and how can we take advantage of this. So first, to understand that when we connect with our heart, we will be able to see all of that from that point of view. Otherwise, if we see things from the fear side, we might feel that we are in chaos. We might feel that we're losing things, or we are just being tumbled in a way. So know that whenever we are doing transitions, that's where we are. The whole world is in transition in this moment, at this moment. So at times we might feel that we are losing things quite rapidly. And it's hard sometimes to stand firmly on the ground, because we feel that constantly there's things moving on underneath us, right? There's a carpet that moves in here, and we are kind of tumbling in here. So how do we manage these, and how we can navigate these energies? One big thing, I always feel that this helps me, and I'll share that with you. Just visualize yourself becoming a tree or becoming a mountain, and we will talk about that in a moment, because that's going to help us to know that we are so rooted and so grounded that no matter what happens out there, you can still stand strong. And that's what we are required to do on these times, and right now this month. So be open for new opportunities, and open in how these new opportunities, they come in different shapes and forms. So whatever you need, the universe will always provide. And be open for new opportunities, even in order for us to have a different house, a different place, or we have to move, or we want to have a trip. We might have to do something before that in order for everything to align. Let's remember that when we are here on the physical, although energetically speaking, everything is already there, in order for us to go there, we have a space and time which requires for us to do certain things in order to go to, to that place. So let yourself be loved and love. Everything that you have to do, everything that comes around you, just pass everything first through your heart, and then you can take it to your mind. Often when we feel that we are confused and we do not know what to do, is because we are not in coherence. And what does this mean? When we are in coherence, meaning that we are thinking, feeling, and doing things completely differently. Our mind is designed, our mind is a beautiful mind for us to be here to guide us and to survive. We need our ego, we need this survival instinct, because otherwise we will go across the street without even thinking that we can be run over by a car, for example, right? But other fears and other situations in time when they come in our lives, those fears that would not allow us to take decisions easily, most of the time they're coming from a belief that sometimes is so deep inside that we don't even know that it's there. Okay, most of the time we are running with our subconscious constantly. We're doing things unconsciously, we're just doing things. And so we don't understand why we now be able to take a decision so easy. If you have a situation and you know that, and perhaps many people are telling you, hey, you should do this, maybe you should change a job, or just do this and that. It's easier to see, those kind of things in someone else's life. It's hard when we see it ourselves, but when we get that and someone is telling you, it's like, hey, Claudia, maybe what you need to do is, I don't know, perhaps you just need to make that phone call and see what happens, right? And then on this end, I will feel like I can't. Why I cannot, right? I'm afraid, what's going to happen? What's going to people think of me? Could be gazillion things. I can have many excuses for me not to do that, because it is an irrational fear. It's a fear, and the fear what it does physically to our body, it makes us freeze to some extent. It makes us just react. And so we survive. We don't really take the risk to some things. So when any fear appears to you, it's the door for opportunity. Unless it's something that is putting your life in danger, really, changing or taking an action to something, perhaps, I don't know, maybe let's do the opposite. Normally we say, if you in our families, we have so many traditions, and we have our cultures, we have religion, many things that condition the things that we do. And if we want to do something opposite to that, we feel we can't because we are afraid that we don't know what's going to happen. How are we going to be seen by the society, but also our family? Are they going to support us if I do something different, right? What if everybody wants me to be a doctor, but I want to become a singer, or everybody in my family is a singer, I want to become a doctor? And all of that creates some beliefs that deep inside of us. So those are the ones who will not allowing us to move forward. So now this month is helping us again to bring all of this, and just everything is moving quite rapidly. We are guided to really connect with our emotions, connect how I am feeling about everything in this, any decisions that I am taking, whatever am I doing, how I feel about it. Because through this center from our heart and emotions, we will be able to take decisions that are more in line with who we are and with integrity. First, we have to be very honest with ourselves. What is it that we really want? And often we don't ask those questions to ourselves because we might be afraid of hearing something that we don't want to, or discover something that we already know, but we don't want to go there. And because what would happen if, say, you want to experience something in your life, or you want to do something different, but if you have the question, what do I need to do? How do I feel about this? And perhaps you recognize that maybe you are not happy in that job or in the city, or you want to do something different, and that makes you feel uncomfortable, because the next question would be like, what would happen if I actually do that? How my world would change, my life will change. And the unknown is what it keeps us so into this fear to do any changes, because we don't know what's going to happen. And that's a very human thing, and that's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. But normally, if we let the love lead our lives, we will be able to, most of the time, we will be going through this amazing experience, right? But it's the process of learning and understanding it, and to remember how to listen ourselves, because we have lost that ability to trust ourselves, because that is in there. Our intuition, our knowing, our inner knowing. We tend to always ask for confirmation of someone else to give us or to tell us what to do. And we don't trust in our own personal guidance. If you know that it's better for you, to eat eggs, for example, but everybody says, oh, you have to eat eggs. Sometimes we override what our body's telling us. Like, listen to your body. What is your body telling you? Does the eggs really settle good with you or not? They could be good for people, yeah, but maybe not for me, for example. And you have to honor that. So what you have to connect with yourself and listen to your body, connect with your emotions. Your emotions are going to tell you what is happening, the things that maybe in your subconscious are running and you don't even know they are there. So if you're about to take decisions, how is the emotion? How is this feeling in my body? Normally, when it's something that is good for us, we will feel expanded, we will feel light. But if it's something that is not in our highest good, we will tend to feel contracted and perhaps maybe heavy or tight. So pay attention how your body reacts when you're taking decisions, and you can practice this in your day-to-day, whether you should eat this or that, you go to the left or the right. Follow your intuition, follow what your body is telling you, and see what happened. If you went to the place that your body has felt tight, what happened into that experience, right? Everything as an experience, so that way you will learn how your body reacts according to situations. And this is how our inner guidance will tell us what to do. Often, we don't trust ourselves, especially when we want to take big decisions, whether I should do this or that, because nobody's really saying, yeah, you do it. We got you covered, right? So that would be something really cool if somebody tells us. But we have our angels and our guides that they are assisting us as well. And they're there, they're present. And if the more we ask and thank them for their assistance, the more we will see of that magic in our lives. We don't do it enough. They keep telling to me that we tend to question ourselves more than ask them. And remember that if we don't ask any questions, we do not get any answers. It's just like that. Even if we go to school, if we don't ask questions to the teacher, even if we have some doubts or we don't know how to do anything, the teacher has a job to show the subject, right? And it is our job to ask the questions if we don't get something, because the teacher, he or she would not really understand, or he would not necessarily read our minds. He might see it, it's like, oh, might need some help, but how about if we ask for help? Maybe it's so busy the teacher that, you know, it hasn't been able to go out of her way or his way to come and teach you. In this case, our angels are always going out of their ways because they're helping us and assisting us to put in situations in our lives. But in order for us to see this clear guidance, we need to ask for that, because there's a free will. If we don't want to be helped, you know, that's the free will here. You want to help someone, and if someone doesn't want to be helped, it doesn't matter what you do, you can give them everything, there will not be any changes. So there has to be some will in this. So what is another guidance for us today? As we are connected with our emotions, knowing that there's many opportunities and we're taking decisions and all that, we really have to become a hermit. We have to, especially right now, this month, we will go through Mercury in retrograde, and remember that those times are specifically for introspection, not taking decisions fast. I'm not saying that you don't take any decisions. If you have to do something, of course you will take the decisions, but don't react so quick. Try to take the time, give the time to first feel how that, you know, how would that work? Not thinking, but just kind of, you know, connect with your soul, and then bring it to your mind. So then, you know, your mind will say like, it doesn't make any sense. Perhaps, you know, it has no logic, but it's just, you know, your body is saying, your soul is saying, but it's okay for us because it's good. And we know that. And so our mind will cooperate and say, okay, let's go. We got this. Let's just do this. So become a hermit, introspection, connect with yourself, take a moment, take a pause before you take anything. Since on this moment, you might be already discovering, you know, the things that you want to do, new abilities, and you're creating new things. So you are guided to take action and focus that energy and take it with the structure. As we are creating new things in this new era that we are, day to day, we are creating completely new things, many new things, nothing is like before. It is important to take some time and just go little by little, tackle everything. You have everything that you need, but it's important that you do this with so much focus. Okay, so no, sometimes when we're trying to accelerate something, it's just everything will collapse. If we are baking some cookies, and if we put everything so quick in there, we have all the ingredients because we have a great idea, we put everything in there and we put it on the oven and we take them beforehand, before time, the cookies will not cook properly. And even if we put them back in there, they might not even, you know, turn out well, they might burn, or they just got destroyed. So we have to start all over again. So concentrate your energy in whatever you want to do and whatever you have as an intention, as a goal, and take the time, whatever it takes, okay? Because if you're prepared right now in doing this, you will be more, most likely you will have more success, and it will be more, the structure will be absolutely firm and strong for you to do that. So as you do this, there's gonna be the need of security to know, like, oh my, what I'm doing is I know it's a good thing, but it's like I need someone to step behind me to say, hey, I am right here with you, right? How can you do this? By believing in yourself, by believing in what you're doing, and become that mountain that we were talking about earlier, or become the tree that you're firm, your roots are deep down, and you are strong and you are thick, yet you're flexible too. So whatever comes, when the wind comes, you can really be flexible. The mountains can be flexible to the extent that it doesn't matter what happened out there, whether snows or rains or it is a thunderstorm, the mountain is there, okay? And it doesn't matter what happens out there, I'm strong and I'm rooted and I'm right here. So you are supported by heaven and earth, literally. And so that's they want you to know that just be strong in what you're doing and believe in yourself, because when you're trying to do new things, especially if you're changing ways, the way you used to do before things, you know, or it has to be with the way of ideas, a society, family, religion, culture, whatever that might be, you're used to. There might be some sense of not feel supported by them, by your family, by your support, by your community, by your society, because it goes out of the norm per se. It is just that when we do something new, it creates this nervousness, and seeing someone doing it, it moves things on people. People might feel like, oh my God, I should be doing, the things that I want to, but I don't know how, so I better say, I don't do it, you're crazy. Because it's not easy. We project our insecurities into someone who is actually trying to step out there. So be strong, be that mountain. As you do this, emotionally, you will see that you are this shapeshifter, that you can turn into anything, because really all of these abilities and strengths are right there. And emotionally, you will feel like you actually can be this superhero. So pay attention to the strengths and those abilities since childhood. You might be very talented at numbers and you forgot about it and you stop doing that because you start focusing on something different. So right now, all of those talents and the gifts are going to come out. So you'll be able to see them, and it's like, how can you implement them and bring them into the things that you are doing? Where we need to direct our attention and action would be in choosing new things. That we are in this moment to choose paths. So what is it that you're going to choose? You're going to choose things that are aligned and connected with your deepest desires. How that makes you feel. You go with the joyfulness, go with the things that gives you those bubbles in your tummy. And that's the first step. Even if you don't know what's going to happen, or you have more than one option, go with the one that gives you the most butterflies in your stomach. And that from that step, on that point, you'll see how other things will come. And then as you continue to keep taking decisions based on the emotion, how that feels, how do you see yourself or feel yourself, or how that makes you feel, you will be in alignment in the things that you prefer to do, and you will have a better time. And here, I'm not saying that even if we take the path with the least resistance, it's not going to have any little speed bumps. But know that those are the paths that are for us, that they're moving. But if we're trying to choose a path that we have resistance, where we don't move, if we feel that we're just pushing the wall and we don't go through, that's how the universe says, it's not this way. Go to the other way. And we are trying to avoid to that way because the other way makes us feel nervous because it's new. So trust the process. And even if you want to choose that, it might be some bumps in there, but you will see how things go a little bit more smoothly. When we're trying to go against a wall that's not so moving, I think it's a very clear way how the universe, the God is saying, this is not, it's God's rejection is God's protection. That's the saying, isn't it? So as you do this and you're taking these new choices and you choose a path, okay, you have to hold the space for this and don't do changes so rapidly, right? So maybe some of these changes takes a little bit of time, but as you do this, as we were saying, very, very focused, and when you're doing, the chances are that you're successful in whatever you're planning to do, want to do, desire to do, you will have a better outcome. So it is important to hold space also for you to recognize how things are moving and how you feel about it, how is having the compassion, especially with yourself and with others. Because remember something very important here, as we're moving into creating new things, we are really taking a step out of our comfort zones, and often those fears that we are presented because those beliefs exist within us are very, very sensitive. So we might feel if somebody judges for doing that, very easily can lose the excitement and the wind under our wings. So it's important that you become that tree, or you become this beautiful mountain. But think about like that about other people. Whenever we are about to say something to someone, let's understand that they are going through the same process. Might not be the same one as we have, but doesn't mean that it's not less harder or more harder. They are going through their own path and their own experience, and it could be scary and it could be very difficult and painful, even if it doesn't appear to us like that. For other people, maybe our path is like nothing. But don't underestimate that, because each one of us, we have our own process. It's so important to hold space. And when we do these movements, we do them with grace. We make them with gentleness at this moment, with compassion, hold space for others as they also grow. And the more we are holding space, even though we have different thoughts about it, with different beliefs, but we sustain each other and say, you know what, you got this, you got this, you know, I don't know what that is, and perhaps I don't necessarily understand it, but you know what, I know the path might be quite difficult, so just go for it. And you know, this is the support that we can give to someone, perhaps is not judging. That would be one of the biggest ones. And so this way, we have to let go the need to see everything so clear and to know what is going to happen. We have to let flow a little bit more about our intuition and utilizing our third eye, okay, more than our physical eyes, because our third eye will help us to see more things in a wider perspective. Our physical eyes are literally, we have limitations in how far we can see. So when we are trying to see a situation, taking decisions, if we only thinking very mentally, very physically, we might feel a little bit stuck and limited in the things that we could actually really see. So bring this into a higher perspective. Visualize yourself being an eagle, so you can see every situation from this point, and you can see all the angles right here, and you can see all the possible paths that you can take. From this, connecting with this heart center, you know, you bring everything from this center. You take decisions, you see, you talk, you feel, you listen from your heart. You will be able to take decisions that are aligned in your own, for your highest good. We will be more in coherence. When we think, feel, and do the same thing, then we're going to be in the path that it will go to the path that we really like. It is just to start recognizing and the why we do things. It's so important to, at this point, also ask these questions. Why I'm afraid of this and where that comes from? Is this my fear or is not? What happens if I take action towards that? How my life will change? And it might feel uncomfortable a little bit, because then you realize things like, ooh, but you don't have to take them in the bad way. You can actually write them down, and that will help you to take all of these emotional things out and put them on a piece of paper, and you will be able to see it with a higher perspective and to see like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, or I can do this, or I can do that. It's a really, I will say that one of the most beautiful techniques for us to release any of this extra emotional stuff that we have. Well, so this month might be a little bit fast moving, yet we need to be cautious, and we have to take one step at a time. So the guidance for us is just connect with emotions, take one day at a time. Do not overreact. Do not take decisions quite fast. Take the time to go inwards. Be a hermit if you want to stay home, and just take the time to really pass everything before you, through you, before you take decisions quick. Okay, you have so many abilities and talents within you, and the only thing that you need to do is just recognize them and know that you are support by your angels, by your guide. You are a divine light being here on earth. Well, thank you so much, and I will see you literally next year. We will be here with the Angels Perspective. Until then, have a wonderful time.